is Sarah Linden-Brooks, and I'm the Program Director of the Academy for Nonprofit Excellence at Tidewater Community College. Today, I'm very excited to have Rita joining us from TACA. And Rita, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me. I am Rita Addico Cohen, the founder and executive director of the Tidewater African Cultural Alliance, also known easier as TACA. So I'm originally from Accra, Ghana, West Africa, and my family immigrated to Norfolk when I was a child. I was almost 9. So this is my second hometown. And one of the things that I always realized growing up was what I call the cultural desert that at the time Hampton Roads was. So it was always in the back of my mind to do something to stimulate the culture aspect of this community. So having moved away, I spent 5 years living in Manhattan, which is, of course, the complete opposite. It's like culture on steroids in New York City. So being a part of that, and at the time getting my master's in classical voice performance at the Manhattan School of Music, I saw all the different infusions culturally that can happen in a community and the amazing positive repercussions. And then also thinking about my childhood, being African and other Africans, and also the incredible history of Africa and African descended people in the Hampton Roads community, eventually having moved back, beginning a family, putting my operatic singing career on hold, I fell back in love with my culture and the idea of giving more of a cultural infusion, programs, events, services in the area. So that's when I, with 2 other West African born dancers at the time, we came up with the Tidewater African Cultural Alliance, in 2017. And then in 2018, it became a 501c3 nonprofit organization with the mission to unite the greater Hampton Roads or Tidewater region through educational programs, cultural arts, and events.
That's amazing. I think we hear that a lot from folks, especially those who are founders of nonprofits, that it really is a personal passion project that gets it started. And I really appreciate you taking the time to share some of your backstory, both in the arts and as somebody who immigrated to the United States. And I'm sure that you've seen a lot in your time in this space and even before, that there are a lot of intense cultural conversations in the United States about what it means to be an African American, a Black American, an African immigrant in the United States. And so I imagine that TACA gets to explore those concepts through a lot of the programming that you do.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you mentioned that, because in this next phase of our organization, we are going to be 7 years old on November 5th, and we are having a gala on September 21st at the Slover to honor that. So I hope you'll come. We are running out of space though, but definitely with the current climate as it is, when it comes to immigrants and immigrations, it's near and dear to my heart because let's say, okay, so my father had already been here, and through him, my sister, my older sister, my mother, and I came almost 8 years later.
Mhm.
And had we come now, actually, I'm not even sure if it would have been possible logistically to come now with the way things are, but had we come now, we would be rounded up by ice. And wow, I don't want to go there, but at least we do have the capability of having such culturally sensitive conversations. And as I began in the next phase of our organization, we really want to hone in on those discussions. And we actually have some town halls planned where we want to speak as Africans and African Americans or even Caribbean Americans, and let's talk.
Yeah,
Leave it at that.
that sounds incredible. You mentioned that you have the gala coming up in September. So can you share information on where people can find out more about that if they are interested in participating?
Absolutely. It's very easy, and I will give you the information as well that hopefully we can put so people can read it. It is our website, which is TACA757.org/ the word gala, GALA hyphen #1. So
Okay.
TACA757.org/gala -1.
Okay.
Um, we have performances, Afro-Caribbean cuisine, and we're giving or honoring 7 people in our community with what is called a Golden Gourd Award.
I
From
love that as a
Yeah,
historian. I love the fact that you went with the gourd, which is just so incredibly important as a musical instrument and food source. So that's amazing.
yes, and I recently learned through my preparation, and I'm a geek learning all these things, but the currency of Haiti is the gourd. I didn't know that.
Ah, I did not know that either. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
So it's an instrument. Of course, you can eat from it, you can drink from it, and apparently you can make financial transactions with it as well.
yeah. Well, then a perfect trifecta there. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing a bit about your background as well as information on the Tidewater African Cultural Alliance. You are one of our most recent completers of the Certificate in Nonprofit Management, our comprehensive certificate program here that requires classes in finance and classes in software and technology, classes in communications, classes in strategic planning. So congratulations to you for making the commitment to make that happen. If you can think back and share a little bit with us about how you first heard about the Academy for Nonprofit Excellence or learned about our certificate program.
Absolutely. So at that time, which was 2021, or possibly I will say late 2020, during, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic, having been a recent grantee, Tidewater African Cultural Alliance of the Hampton Roads Community Foundation, which is one of the major funders of the Academy for Nonprofit Excellence, they shared information about the classes offered, and I was blown away because at that time, and I think all the way through 2023, they were virtual. And of course, we were all sheltered in place. So I said, okay, let's do this. And the first class that caught my eye was Robert's Rules of Engagement. And with a brand new organization and trying to fill a board, I had no idea how to run a meeting. So I took that class and I was like, wow, it opened my eyes. And literally from that day on to this day, whenever we have meetings, we use Robert's rules.
That's amazing. And we were recently doing curriculum mapping and strategic planning process. And one of the things that came up for our board development was Robert's Rules and just how integral it is to understand that structure. And right, you're not reinventing anything. You're just learning the best practice and adopting the best practice for your organization. So that's great.
Exactly. And I was so I was proud of myself that I learned it, and then I was able to also convey and teach my board. And because we have a relatively young and somewhat inexperienced board, but they're amazing. So taking this back to them, it has made our meetings so efficient.
That's wonderful. I love to hear that for you. Kind of continuing on in that same vein, were there any other classes that you took through our certificate program that stand out as favorites?
Wow. All right, give me a moment. It's going to be longer than there's no way I can pick one favorite. Obviously Robert's Rules was the first, so it's the most memorable. But improving your writing skills, I did not realize how much of a geek I was when it came to to writing and grammar and all of that. So I was eating that up. I absolutely love it. Actually, my family, I'm called the grammar police. So
Uh-huh.
I loved that one. Um, and the whole series that you have or had, I don't know if it's still existing, on grant writing. Um, the research, program evaluation, wow. Just wow. Because I thought I was a decent grant writer, but after taking that class and implementing everything and all the tools and resources that were given, I believe our grant success rate since then has been something like 98%, 99.
Wow,
Yeah. So,
that's incredible.
that was one of my favorites. Um, there, of course, all the courses on HR, because again, being a small, young, barely cash strapped nonprofit, again, why we're doing the gala, um, it we clearly need personnel, but I'm glad that I have the tools of what to do as far as HR and how to set that up before the staffing and the personnel come in. That's very important because I can imagine the chaos that would ensue if I had a staff that I'm trying to manage and then I'm learning how to manage. No. So that's great. There honestly are so many. I never took a single class that I thought this was a waste. No way. And they're so economically priced. Um,
Well,
yeah,
you mentioned, right, we are a partnership program between Tidewater Community College and the Hampton Roads Community Foundation. And so it is because of that partnership that we're able to offer the classes at a really reduced rate from what you would usually get access to a lot of the instructors we bring in for. So
definitely.
that helps tremendously. We
Which
were
is so
recently going
great.
through strategic planning ourselves, and one of our key values maintains accessibility because we really do believe that anyone deserves access to high quality professional development. And it doesn't matter what your budget is, what your background is, what your title is. The Academy for Nonprofit Excellence wants to be there to support everyone. But I will say you also have an incredibly strong just thought process about what it takes to managing a nonprofit. And so what we oftentimes see, right, is that people come into our program because they recognize that there is value in continuing to learn. Like I'm doing this, but I can get better at this, right? Like, and so I want to just commend you for your commitment to investing in yourself and your organization, because sometimes we'll see that people don't have that growth mentality, or they don't see the value in investing in themselves and their organizations because they are so cash strapped and also time strapped. And so major kudos to you for taking the time to come and go through those classes. I do want to ask if there was a little snippet you could say for somebody who was thinking about pursuing this program. Why was it valuable for your organization, and what advice would you have for those people who might be on the fence right now?
Okay. Well, first of all, thanks for the kudos. One thing that I learned, and again, because I took my time. Remember, I said I began in 2021 and I just finished June 2025. It wasn't linear. I think even like either in 2023 or possibly the whole of 2024, I didn't take a single class. But and that's the amazing thing about this. There is no requirement of you have to finish in 3 semesters, you have to be done within 2 years. You learn at your own pace as long as you fulfill the requirements as to the core credits and courses like that, whenever. So luckily for me, and one of the assets of this program is it just so happens that when something is highlighted or the classes are listed, from an organizational perspective, at that point in time, we needed that. So I would sign up for it. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to finish my answer with this. preparing for the gala, which is the first one, I had so much anxiety. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to start. And then lo and behold, I see a class that says AI fundraising boot camp. I was like, what? And it was online, and this was in June, and that's what put me over the threshold to get all my credits. I took
Yeah.
that, and let me tell you, I learned every single thing regarding this gala from that class. Incredible. So
Yeah.
it's timely. We already said it's financially wonderful. And then you can take your time with it. So it's a win-win in all ways.
Yeah, it is important that we meet people where they are. And I know when you're in that small organization, it can be hard to get out of the office. For people who may not be aware, to complete the program, it requires 10 CEUs, which is 100 contact hours. And for most folks, they'll break that up into our 5-hour classes or our 3-hour classes. And so that can translate into about 20 days. So it doesn't surprise me when you say that it took you, 4 years to complete, because it's a big commitment to excellence, and to nonprofit success, to go through our program. So that's wonderful. Well, Rita, we're getting ready to tune out, but is there anything else that you would like to share with folks?
I would like to share that just TCC in general, and of course, the Academy for Nonprofit Excellence is a great affordable gem in our community. So whether you have the financial means personally to take these courses, or you can get a grant, or your organization can take care of it, do yourself a favor and sign up, even if it's just one class. You will learn so much that you can apply right away. And for me, even though I've already received my certificate, I'll be coming back and I will most likely repeat some classes just as a refresher. But I am so grateful that this was here, because not coming from this background, I have learned so much for me, even though it took a while, but for me, I've learned so much in a relatively short time that I can use right away, and it has improved my organization in so many ways. So thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you, because it doesn't happen alone. We provide the classes, but it takes your effort and your commitment to complete the program. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Rita. I look forward to learning more about your upcoming gala, which again is at TACA757.org/gala -1. Okay, that sounds great. Thanks for joining us today, and best of luck as you come into your last month before that event.